Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APWSPORTS signing in, and it is time for the big game. It is time for the Super Bowl, as we have the AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals taking on the NFC champion Los Angeles Rams. And the Los Angeles Rams are, oddly enough, in their home stadium. This is back-to-back years where we have teams that are playing the Super Bowl in their own home stadium. But before I get into my thoughts, picks, and preview of this big Super Bowl, make sure you guys leave this video a like, as that always helps the channel to grow. And as always, click that subscribe button and notification bell so you would not miss a single video. But let's talk about the Super Bowl. Without further ado, let's dive into it.
I'm striving to get rich. That's why I almost went 2 years without buying shoes and fits. Things change now. My mom hearing me wear my music and she look a little prouder.
All right, first we're going to start off with the Cincinnati Bengals offense taking on the Los Angeles Rams defense. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals offense has been hot throughout the last couple of weeks, towards the end of the regular season and throughout their entire playoff run, whether it's been the first round against the Raiders, against the Titans, and then the AFC Championship game late against the Kansas City Chiefs. That offense has been hot, led by Joe Burrow, and T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, Uzama, who's coming off of a knee sprain but is probably going to play in this game, and Joe Mixon. That offense has been absolutely hot. Joe Burrow has been cool, calm, and collective under pressure situations this entire run. And it's an impressive thing to see Joe Burrow's maturation and Joe Burrow's growth throughout this entire playoff run. And that is what led this Cincinnati Bengals team to the Super Bowl. And they're going up against the Rams defense that is an absolute very good defense, especially up front when you have pass rushers like Aaron Donald, of course, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, Jalen Ramsey on the back end, Edward Weddle, who's been playing some solid football ever since coming out of retirement and getting into the playoffs. So it's going to be Jalen Ramsey against Jamar Chase, I believe, the whole game. Ramsey, I believe, is the best corner that we have in this league today, an absolute shutdown corner that we have in this league. And he's going up against Jamar Chase, who's been hot this entire season. He had a bad preseason. Everybody wrote him off, but he's been hot this entire season. And I will say this. A key to this matchup, particularly between the Bengals offense and the Rams defense, is the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line going to be able to hold up? Now, they had a 9-sack game against the Tennessee Titans in the playoffs. They had a lot of pressure from Chris Jones, Frank Clark, and that Kansas City Chiefs defense in the AFC Championship game. And you're going up against the Aaron Donald, you're going up against the Leonard Floyd, you're going up against the Von Miller, and that very stout pass rush and that very stout defensive front for the Los Angeles Rams. So the biggest key is, can the Rams get pressure on Burrow? Can the Bengals offensive line actually hold up? And can the Bengals actually establish the run against the Rams defense? Because I believe if this Bengals team is going to win this game, Joe Mixon has to be, I believe, the X factor of this offense. I believe they run a lot of things through Joe Mixon, whether it's in a running game, and he can really do some things in a passing game. And the key to this Bengals offense having some success is Joe Mixon being able to be effective. Whether it's the offensive line holding up in the running game, and whether it's him getting on the screen games, them doing things with him out of the backfield, and of course, Joe Burrow's play. Even though I believe for the key to this game for Joe Mixon and Joe Burrow is that Joe Mixon is the MVP and not Burrow, Burrow still has to come out and play some really solid football, especially against that pass rush, if he's going to have any shot at beating this Rams team and really having some success against this Rams defense. That offensive line for the Bengals has been the weakest point, I believe, of their team all season long. In order for them to hold up and win this game, that offensive line has to show up, and it has to, I'm not going to say be otherworldly, but they have to at least give Joe Burrow enough time to move the ball up and down the field on this Rams defense. But next, we're going to talk about this Los Angeles Rams offense versus the Cincinnati Bengals defense. Now, Trey Hendrickson and Sam Herbert for the Cincinnati Bengals made Patrick Mahomes run around all day. Now, the key they did to that was protecting the edges. They did a really solid job of protecting the edges. Even though Mahomes did get some scrambles, he did run out. They did a very solid job of protecting the edges. And you're going up against Matthew Stafford, who's a stationary quarterback, so you're not really going to have to worry about him moving. But the X factor to this Rams offense has been Cam Akers and him coming back from the torn Achilles and him being a huge factor to the Rams getting into this point. Because the running game for the Rams has really elevated ever since the return of Cam Akers, and it's made things a lot easier for Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, who's having an otherworldly season, Odell Beckham Jr., who's having a real resurgence, coming back to this Rams offense. We're not sure if going to have Higbee in this game or not, but the biggest X factor is going to be Cam Akers. Just like Joe Mixon on the Cincinnati Bengals side of the ball, Cam Akers has came into this lineup off of a torn Achilles, and he really has made this Rams offense go. And I believe this Rams offense is only going to go as far as Cam Akers in the running game can take you. Despite Matthew Stafford finally getting over the hump, getting his team some playoff success, getting this Rams team back to the Super Bowl for the first time since 2018, you have a Cincinnati Bengals defense who basically shut out the Kansas City Chiefs in the second half last week. They got pressure on Mahomes. The back end of the Cincinnati secondary, led by J.C. Bates and Von Bell, really started to show up later on in that ball game, and they really started to play well. But Cooper Kupp's route running is absolutely exceptional, and Odell Beckham Jr. has been really resurgent since coming back to the Rams, or coming into the Rams roster. I'm not going to say coming back into the Rams, but this team, offensively, it goes to Cam Akers. And the Cincinnati Bengals do possess one of the better run defenses that we have in the league. They've been able to slow down the Tennessee Titans running game. They've been able to slow down the Raiders running game. And even though Kansas City Chiefs, I don't believe, really possess much of a running game to begin with, they were able to play really well and do things against the run. And like I said, Cam Akers is going to be the key. And the key for the Bengals is to actually slow down Cam Akers. And it's going to say weird to say make Matthew Stafford beat you. But when you have a stout run defense like the Bengals have, and if you have an offense that has been fueled by a running game like the Rams have, I believe a big key for this Bengals defense to have success is slow down Cam Akers and let Matthew Stafford beat you. Even though that sounds so crazy to say because Matthew Stafford is talented, Matthew Stafford is a very good quarterback, and I've always been a fan of Stafford. You have to make him beat you and slow down the run and make this Rams team one-dimensional despite Cooper Kupp and despite Odell Beckham Jr. I believe the running game is going to be the big key to whoever has the edge in this particular matchup. But I believe that the winner of this game is going to be, I'm going to pick the Los Angeles Rams, and here's why. I don't believe that the Bengals offensive line is going to be able to hold up throughout this game long enough for the pass rush of Von Miller, pass rush and Aaron Donald, and the pass rush of Leonard Floyd to not have a factor. Because the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line has been, I believe, the weakest point of this team. And the biggest point of this Rams defense is that front four. And if they are able to get pressure, they are able to cause havoc in both the passing game and the running game, this Super Bowl can turn ugly, kind of like the way Tampa Bay beat Kansas City in a Super Bowl last year, because in that Super Bowl, the Chiefs are missing their two tackles. The Buccaneers blitzed the crap out of them, and they got pressure on Mahomes the whole game. And I believe if this same thing happens with Cincinnati's offensive line, this Super Bowl can really turn into that. And I do have all the world belief in Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor in this offense to really get things together and really make some things happen. But am not a believer yet in the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line to hold up against that stout front that you have so many pieces to deal with the Rams. And I believe Jalen Ramsey is going to make his impact known on this ball game. And I believe the Rams offense, Cam Akers, Matthew Stafford, is going to do just enough to win this ball game. I'm not going to say them scoring a ton of points, even though they have the capabilities to do so. It's just this Rams offense has a tendency a little bit to get away from the running game. And even with the Rams defense playing so well, I believe it's going to be a little bit closer than expected, at least in my opinion, because the Rams have a factor of getting away from the running game. And I believe they're probably going to do so, especially with Stafford in the fold versus Jared Goff. But at the end of the day, I'm going to pick the Los Angeles Rams to win the Super Bowl, and I'm going to pick them with a score of 21-17. The Rams are going to take home the Super Bowl championship, and that's just my opinion. But that is all I have. Leave this video a like, as it helps the channel to grow tremendously. Comment your thoughts down below. What is your score of the game? Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would love to see what you guys think. And as always, click that subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss a single video. But I am APWSPORTS signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great and excellent day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.